Hey everybody, in this video we're going to talk about the presentation, the initial presentation and tour, okay? At this point you've already, either you made the appointment with the person, okay? And they've come to the gym and they're getting ready to start. Now, we have to talk about the very beginning of what's going on, okay? So the first thing is first. You need to greet this person within 3 seconds of them walking into the facility. Meaning 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, someone should have greeted them. Okay? Doesn't have to be the actual consultant, it can be anybody, but someone needs to greet within 3 seconds. Now, let me explain to you why. First of all, you run a mixed martial arts gym. A lot of people have a misconception because they see the cage fighting stuff. They gotta be one bad dude or dudette, okay, to walk in there. Alright? And they have this idea that, oh man, maybe they're gonna like rough me up the first day. Can I? As a mixed martial art gym, I'm sure you get this question. I've never trained before. Can I do this? You know, like only trained athletes and fighters can join a mixed martial arts school. Okay, so there's a misconception out there. Okay, so they're looking at your website or they got your flyer somewhere and they're looking at it, they're reading it, and they're thinking to themselves, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna call. Now they're dialing the numbers. There's a certain excitement going on, a certain anticipation. The phone rings, and now they're talking to somebody, and they made the appointment. Now the excitement, kind of subsides. But then the day of the appointment comes, and now they go on MapQuest. They make their map. They start driving to your gym. There's a little excitement going on. Now as they get close and you start parking, and they see your facility there. Now the excitement level spikes up. Okay. But it's not just excitement like I can't wait to do this. It's more like a nervous kind of a thing, okay? And now they're walking to your door. They get to the door. They grab the handle. Okay, at this point, woo, adrenaline's going way up, okay? Now they open it. You have a chime and they bing, and they walk in, okay? And when they walk in, they're in this foreign place and they don't know what to expect and nothing's happening. They've been sitting there for like 10 seconds and no one said a word to them. And those 10 seconds can feel like an eternity to a new person. You can start thinking about leaving. That could actually be a real thought of just, I made a mistake coming here. Okay, like this is not for me, And especially depending on what you got going on in that entrance. Some people put, nothing but violent stuff on the front, like pictures of them beating people up in the cage and stuff. So at this point they walk in and no one's saying anything to them, and maybe a fighter walks by with his shirt off with gloves on or something. Okay, I don't know what's going on in your gym, but I'm just giving you different scenarios, okay? If the longer no one says anything to them, the worse it gets exponentially every second. That person needs to be greeted within 3 seconds. Okay? Now, if you're up front and maybe you're already talking to a client or a lead, okay, and someone walks in the door, you don't just want to be, talking to this person and go, oh, but right now I was busy. Okay? What you want to do if you're talking to a person here, you go, Jim, can you wait for 1 second? Hey, how you doing, sir? Can I help you? Oh, you're here for your appointment? Or, oh, you're looking for information? Sure, be glad to help you with that. Right now, I'm with this gentleman here. Could you have a seat on the chair there? And I'll be with you in 1 moment. And you go back to your person. Okay? Right away, you just cut the tension in the room with a knife for this person. You were nice, you smiled, you were courteous, okay? You asked, well, how can you help? Oh, great, Always smiling, especially first impression, but you should always be smiling in that gym. Your gym should be like Disney World, okay? People are coming to your martial arts school as an escape from the realities of their life. Okay, they're very stressed out. They're working hard. They got maybe they have family problems. The Lord only knows, okay, what kind of stuff they're going through on a day-to-day basis. And when they come to your place, it's a stress relief. Okay, it's like a home away from home. All right. So when they come in, you should be like Macho Man, like, "What's up? Need some help? No? All right, cool. Let's go have a seat or something." It's not like that at all. We already know you're a tough guy. Okay, they know you're a tough guy. Trust me, they're intimidated coming in. Okay, so you want to be all smiles. Hey, what's going on? Need some? How can I help you? Oh, you're here for your appointment? Excellent, man. What's your name? Jeremy? Hey, Jeremy, I'm Marcos. Nice to meet you, man. Go ahead, have a seat there, and I'll be with you in a moment. Right now, I'm finishing up with this guy here. Okay? Thanks. Make him feel good. Lighten that mood. Cut away that tension that he had from coming in. Now, just because you cut the tension and have him sit down doesn't mean you can forget this person existed and sit here with this other guy for 20, 30 minutes. Okay? In an ideal world, your scheduling will be perfect, and every time someone comes in, you could take them and go right away. But it's not an ideal world, okay? Sometimes the previous appointment you had came late, and now it kind of ran over the time for this appointment, or sometimes there'll be a misbooking and two people will come, and someone booked two appointments at the same time, or sometimes the person will come early or the person will show up late, you already took another appointment. Long story short, there's always going to come a time where someone has to wait. Okay? Now, waiting can be devastating if it's done wrong, or it can be very good if done correctly. Now, done wrong is when someone comes in, you have to wait for 15, 20 minutes, you just have them sit in the chair and forget they existed. Okay? Done right is when you make the person feel very important. And what you do is, every 5 minutes or so, if you're dealing with a client and you can't, as a consultant, you can't check on that person, have the front desk person do it. Have someone do it and tell them, look, every 5 minutes when you check on that person, ask them they're okay. Okay? I keep a small fridge behind the counter with little waters and Gatorades. Okay? Well, what we do is we give them a water or Gatorade every time they're waiting. Don't ask if you give them a water, because I'll tell you right now, 19 times out of 20, okay, 95% of the time, they're going to tell you no thank you. Why? Because they've come into your gym with what? As I mentioned in the introduction, defense. Okay, they're defensive. Okay, so they're not going to take anything from you because they're not in a receptive mode. They're in a defensive mode, as in stay away from me kind of mode. I just want to, don't think I'm signing up just because I came in. I want to look around. Okay, that's the mode they're coming in. So if you offer them a water, they say no. Okay, what you do is you give them a water. It's very different. Okay, you get the water, you crack it open and go, here, have a water while you wait. They're going to go, oh, thank you. Okay? You just made them feel important and they received something from you, which is going to come into play later on with the sales game. Okay? Because now, on a subconscious level, they kind of owe you something, even though it's something small. Okay? They received something. Okay? And now also they'll be more receptive to other stuff going into the sale. Okay? So, if you have a video to play in the waiting room, that's excellent too. Pop in a video and let them watch that as you check on them from time to time and give them little updates. Oh, look, I'm sorry you've been waiting. It's like 5 more minutes. We hate to make people wait. It's just something happened. Just make them feel important. They're going to tell you, oh, don't worry about it. I understand. But if you let that same person who's so cool, I understand, but you didn't address them at all those 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 10 minutes making them wait, the impression is quite different. It's like, man, I can't believe these people, the audacity, having you here waiting like this. Okay? Now, next part about the waiting room is the actual waiting room. Okay, what is that room communicating? Remember my depth theory, okay, that we talked about in the introduction DVD. Okay, if this person were deaf, okay, and they're sitting in that waiting room, forget the deaf part. I mean, yeah, the deaf part's important. What they see, like what do they see in that waiting room that communicates with them? But at this point, it's everything. What do they hear? What do they smell? Okay, all that plays into the waiting room. Okay, if they're in the waiting room and they hear gangster rap going on in the background, they hear DMX talking about corpses and stuff, okay, in the background, okay, that's a communication right there. It is communicating what kind of place they're about to get into. Okay, maybe you're thinking to yourself, oh, that's just because there's a fighter training going on. They don't know that. Okay, so what they hear in the waiting room. Now, what are they seeing in the waiting room? If they look around, do they see only fighting pictures? Do they see UFC posters? Okay, because you're communicating now to them that this is, if they have to bet money, if their life was on the line, and someone dropped in this waiting room and said, what kind of business is this? Okay, they're going to guess a fight gym. All right, and is it a fight gym? If you say it's no, it's also for self-defense and fitness, we'll communicate that. Okay, I like to have, you should have some pictures. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you want to get fighters in the UFC, you definitely want to have a poster up there, something to be proud of. But at the same time, there should be community pictures. Pictures of everybody together, get-togethers, barbecues, maybe pictures of people getting their new belt and being happy, maybe a before and after picture right in the waiting room of someone that lost a lot of weight with a testimonial, or testimonial banners. Those are great, having a banner with a big testimonial with a picture of the person saying how much your gym changed their life and this and that. It's a great thing for these people to be looking at while they're waiting. Okay. Also, if you can put up a plasma TV, nowadays they're very cheap, especially at Walmart. These plasma TVs are practically giving them away. Put up a plasma TV there and get a little DVD running, okay? Again, don't put reruns of the UFC unless you know they're fight fans. It'd be great if you could prepare a DVD with testimonials on it from different people, ranging in benefits. You kind of cover them all. If you have the time, it's even better if you can have separate DVDs. Okay, for whatever benefits you're looking for. If you're looking to get in shape, you have a get in shape DVD. It's all testimonials and stuff from people getting in shape and video of them using sledgehammers and stuff, If it's for self-defense, a video of all self-defense testimonials. We have an officer in uniform talking about how applicable your style of self-defense is, okay? And it shows some clips of you guys disarming somebody or using like a double leg, like in that back alley kind of look, you know, not just in the mats or in the ring or in the cage. And if it's competition, go ahead and throw a highlight video of fights in there. That's great, okay? You know, if you have the production to do that and you have the time to do that, do it like that. You know, if you want to get even crazier, okay, get more into it, have different times for these videos. Because sometimes a guy's only going to wait for 5 minutes. Sometimes a guy's going to wait for 30 minutes. Okay? And you can have different length videos depending on how long that person's going to wait there. Okay? This is how detailed you can get into. So we haven't even gotten to the tour yet. We're just talking about the waiting room. Okay? This is how detailed it gets. Now, what they're going to sit on. If you got those metallic folding chairs, dump them. Okay? Get rid of those. Go and upgrade. Go to Office Depot, Office Max, and pay $20 for the padded one at least, okay? That's the most important thing right there. I mean, just make sure you got a nice thing for them to sit on. As your budget goes up, as you utilize this DVD set to the fullest and your budget goes up, you can do like we have at FFA, which we use leather couches. Both our locations have beautiful black leather couches, okay? So when they're sitting down, first of all, it's comfortable, and first of all, they're like, oh, this is nice. You know, and the first impression's huge. They're waiting in the waiting room. They got all these testimonials around, nice little motivational posters about teamwork and stuff. Yeah, they have one picture there of the head instructor in the you know, fighting a main event kind of poster. You know, and looking around, it's like wow. And they have this video up. They have a nice music in the background, maybe some like jazzy kind of thing, something comfortable. Okay, and everything's nice. And then, like I said, smell. Okay, has some deodorizers. You have those Glade plugins. We use those like crazy with the oil. If you get the plugins, just make sure you get a clear liquid. Okay, especially over the mats and stuff. A lot of times, people will knock them over with their bags and stuff, and then they feel bad and they try to put it back in. But this happens all the time. They plug it back in upside down, so the ink leaks out. So if you got like a red dye, like a strawberry aroma or something, it'll stain the mats. All right, it's a little free tip right there, guys. All right, from experience. Okay, get the whatever. I don't care what it smells like. Just make sure it's a clear liquid, so it don't stain anything. So the Glade plugins, or they have those sprays now. They're automated. You get these at any supermarket. We put a little battery in, and every like 15 minutes, let's go a little spray. Okay, and make sure the gym smells good. And in that same department, the temperature. The temperature in that waiting room should not be hot. Hot creates anxiety. Okay, it's better to be a little too cold than a little too hot. Okay. Should always be a comfortable temperature in the waiting room. Okay. Now, a little advanced tip. You want to take it to another level? Well, we kind of did already address this, but you got the sight. Okay. You got the touch, which is the when you sit, not in metal. They're sitting on something comfortable. Okay. You got the smell. Okay. You got what they're hearing. There's one more sense we haven't touched up it yet, which is the taste. Okay. Which is we did with the drink you're offering. Okay. That way you're hitting up every scent that they have. Every sense that they have. You're literally making them feel completely comfortable with every sense. Okay. Now you've had them waiting for a while, or hopefully not too long, okay, and you're ready to give the tour. Or they come right in, you're ready to give the tour. So let's dive into our tour. Now when you come to a tour, first off, give a nice greeting, okay? A nice handshake, you know, introduce yourself, make eye contact, get their name. Now, I know this may sound silly, but a lot of times you may forget their name right off the bat. Okay? You say, hey, I'm Marcos, what's your name? Joey. Hey, Joey, nice to meet you. And you go, it's very easy. If you're not really focused, you just completely forget his name right away. And if you have to ask him his name again, it's bad. It's not good. Okay? So, off the bat, make sure you repeat his name after. Joey? Joey? Okay, cool, Joey, I'm Marcos. Say as many times as you need to make sure you get it in well. Matter of fact, the very next question you ask him, like, so Joey, how'd you hear about us? And make sure you throw that name in there like 3 or 4 times and immediately with the questions. That way you won't forget his name. Okay, so immediately go right into the gym. Now, back to my my earlier theory I was just talking about with the senses. Okay, when they walk into your gym, it's still into play. It's not just the waiting room. It's everything. What kind of banners do you have throughout the gym? You know, I have like different banners of stuff throughout the gym. You gotta be tagging the visual, tagging the everything. Still, just like the waiting room, throughout the gym. Now, as you give this tour of the gym, you want to start already engaging the person. Don't just walk around and go, all right, here's our main mat room. Here's the weight room. Here's the boxing ring. Okay. Remember, the ultimate goal of the salesperson is to become their friend, and it starts now. Okay. Lots of smiles, lots of jokes. Okay. Now, a lot of times in an ideal world, the guy would be just open, but sometimes they're very quiet and reserved and shy. Okay. Like I said, it's a defense. Okay. So when you tell your first joke, if they don't laugh, they just look at you with a stone cold face like this. You know, don't get bummed out. Keep the corny jokes going. Okay. When I tell a joke and the guy don't laugh, I go, okay, cool. I like that, to be honest, because I know that when I do get him to laugh, it means I definitely got through to him. Okay. So you should have kind of like scripted jokes, depending on where you're going. For example, we have these sledgehammers in the gym, you know, and like when I show them the tires outside and how we hit with the sledgehammers. Before I do that, I'll grab this sledgehammer and go, and this is our sledgehammers. This is when you're late in your payments, you know, and then we make a little joke. They'll laugh. Go, now let me show you what it's for. And we take them outside. So you know, you should have your scripted jokes that you can kind of run through. The way you want to think of this, guys, is if you've ever been to Disney World or Universal Studios, when they have those actors helping with the rides, like the Jaws ride, you know, and the actor will go, oh, you know, oh my God, there's Jaws! Ah! They get the fake gun and start shooting and stuff, and they have their jokes and they're really into it. And if you didn't know any better, you'd think it's like every time it was an original joke. But if you get out of the line and go right back in, okay, it's the same script, same jokes, they tell with the same enthusiasm, okay? Because at the moment they really mean it, okay? It's the same thing with your tour, okay? At the moment you have to really feel it from the heart and say these things and really laugh, and it's like you told the joke for the first time ever. Now, right off the bat, you walk in, you should be going immediately into, hey, so just like the appointment script. So what benefits are you looking for? You know, even though you already know, just ask so they can tell you. When they tell you, it's like you're already starting to open the lines of communication. Now, there's one thing you want to start utilizing with the tour, which is called the ownership close. Okay, ownership close is when you start having them visualize actually owning the product or service. For instance, we have a cage in our school, so when we get to the cage, you go, okay, and here's our cage. You know, now, before I get into anything about the tour, first on the benefits. So if they say looking for self-defense, I go, oh, and here's our cage. Now this cage here is excellent because you know, if you get into a fight in the street, unless you're fighting in the middle of a soccer field, you'll be hitting all kinds of boundaries like parked cars, walls. You know, if you're in a club, a group of people even act as a wall. And here with this cage, we get to practice techniques when you have your back against a wall, or if you have their back against a wall. So go ahead, sir, and lean back on this cage and feel it. Go ahead, lean back, try it. So what you did there was, one, you issued the benefits you're looking for, and two, ownership. When that person leans on the cage and feels it, they start visualizing themselves actually training in your gym. It's not just something they're looking at, now they're touching and feeling it. Okay? So I always force them to lean back on the cage. Always go, go ahead, lean back on it, do it. Even if they're shy, go ahead, do it. Okay? If you have a boxing ring, same thing with the ropes. Okay, if you don't have either one, you can still use ownership. How? Go, oh, and here are our mats. These mats are high grade quality mats. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead and lean on it, kind of like fall on it, feel it. You know, it's not too much give, it's just right. And have them go ahead and feel it. So you can start visualizing the whole process of owning it. Now, when I take them to show the bags and stuff, I go, and here are the heavy bags you're going to be working out on. I say it just like that. Like, here are the bags you're going to be working out on. Here are your bags. Say, start the whole ownership. Okay? If you go to the locker room, and here's the locker room, here's going to be your locker so you can keep your stuff, you know, while you're training in class. You know, throw that in there. Ownership closes. Okay? So you start feeling that you already own the product. You know, and throughout the whole tour, making light jokes, talking, explaining everything. If you got testimonial banners up, make sure you explain each testimonial banner. If you got plaques up with like trophies and stuff. I mean, if you have 100 medals, you can't go through all of them, but go through the major ones. Oh, here, you know, is when Master David Avalon took third in Abu Dhabi. You know, this is the World Championships of submission grappling, yada, 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 okay? And give a nice in-depth tour. Don't try to skip out on the tour. And show them everything. Show them where the storage room is. That's nothing to do with them. But, oh, and here's our storage room, and here's the instructor's office, and here's the restroom. You know, that way there's no mystery anymore. They feel like oh, there's like they're already familiarizing themselves with the place. Okay, a good tour is very important. Now, when you're doing the tour, remember we're already starting dialogue. Don't be just regurgitating on this person. Don't be just vomiting on this person all kinds of information. Let them engage you. Okay, like the old saying goes, you know, You got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, all right? 2 ears, 1 mouth, because you're supposed to listen more and you talk, all right? Especially with sales and consulting. Make sure you're listening more than you're talking, okay? Don't just be out there, let the guy engage you, okay? Ask him questions, talk to him, get to know him, right? Once you've done the entire tour, and the guy feels he's seen everything, he's already done the ownership, touch stuff, got into the cage, got into the ring. If you have an elevated ring, get him inside the ring. Go, hey, have you ever been inside a ring before? Come on, let's do it. Get him inside the ring. Let him lean back on the ropes, okay? If you have a bag there, let him hit the bag once, bare-fisted, If you don't have any bags, if you just have mats, let him go ahead and do a forward roll on the mat or something, okay? Just get him in there. And once you've done all this stuff, now you tell him, okay, cool. Billy, let's go ahead into the office. We can go over the consultation. We do like a one-on-one consultation. So let's go ahead and talk. Okay? At this point, he's going to start entering into that office very cautious. And that's why when they go into the office, you're just going to do a consultation. Okay? And then from the consultation, when he thinks you're about to try to close him, you go, okay, let's go do the private lesson. See? So then the second time he goes into the office, he's not so defensive, because the first time you went in, you didn't try to close him. It was just a friendly conversation. All right. Also, when you're giving your tour, make it a real point to introduce this person to other people. Down the road, you need to train all your staff, and also your higher-ranking belts to always introduce themselves to people when they see them coming in for the first time. A guy comes in, he's all nervous and stuff, and then he'll see the instructor teaching class. And when the instructor's teaching class, the instructor looks over, sees him, and goes, "Hey, what's going on, man? It's your first time here? Hey, I'm Master Marcos. Hey, have a great time. Hope you enjoy the tour." Okay? Right there, you're just like, wow, man, how cool. Like the guy just, middle of class, just came up and said hi to me. Trust me, you're cutting tension, okay? Especially if a tough-looking class going on, people are throwing punches and they're in the guard and all this stuff, and all of a sudden, guy comes up and says hi and all friendly, and then another guy, a student, a purple belt, comes up the mat to get some water and goes, "Hey, what's up? Hey, I'm Randall. What's your name?" "Billy. Hey, nice to meet you, Billy." Like, he's like, whoa, man, this is a cool place. Man, that goes a huge distance, guys, okay? Make sure you train the people to say hello to your guy, and if they're not, as a consultant, feel free to introduce them as you're walking by and you see an instructor walking by. Go, "Hey, Billy, I want you to meet, instructor so-and-so." Oh, and the instructor, "Hey, what's going on, Billy?" And right away, he sees, oh, these people are pretty nice, okay? So that's a big part, guys. Make sure you cut that tension that as you're doing the tour, introducing the people, start having them get familiarized, let them acclimate into that environment, okay? Now, it's preferred when you're giving tours as a one-on-one kind of thing, but sometimes due to overbooking, you'll have two separate people come in, or when I say one-on-one, I mean like one group at a time. In other words, like if a guy comes with his brother, I consider like one person, because they both coming in with usually the same goals. Maybe sometimes one guy wants one thing, one wants another, but they're very comfortable with each other. Like they feel at ease sharing information with you in front of each other. Okay, like if you ask the guy what benefits you're looking for, he's not gonna look at the other one and go, "Well, I don't want to say in front of this guy, but it's to lose weight." Usually they're comfortable with each other. But when you have two separate strangers come in to do a tour at the same time, they're gonna be extra defensive. Now, I'm not saying that you can't give a tour and consultation and free private lesson to two separate people, but it definitely requires more talent. Okay, you have to be more talented as a consultant to be able to handle two separate leads at once. Furthermore, I would never go more than two separate leads. If you get a group of 4 separate leads, all it takes is one person in that room to say, "I want to think about this more." And the rest of the people go, yeah, you know what, me too, I want to think about this more. Okay? So it's either all or nothing when you have those big groups. But if you have 2 separate people, that's fine. But just make sure that you're really making sure to open up each one. And in the case that you feel that you might not be able to open both up at the same time, gun for one. Okay, it's better to have one in the hand. One in the hand is worth more than 2 in the bush. Okay, so if you can't scoop up both, focus your efforts on one and get at least one sign up. Okay. Now, the time of your tours and appointments, there's different advantages depending on what times you're gonna put. The majority of appointments are going to want to come in the evening because that's when people get off work. But you do have some people that want to come in around noon or 10 in the morning, stuff like that. And there's pros and cons behind having people come in during busier times and having people come in during non-busy times. When you have someone come in during non-busy times, it's great in the sense that it's very quiet. and serene. And usually if someone comes at 10 in the morning, they're not in a rush to go somewhere. Usually they come in, they wake up, they're fresh with energy. You know, they haven't been beaten up, you know, through the whole day, you know, and maybe it's their day off of work or they don't work or who knows, but they got a long day ahead and you have all the time in the world to talk to you. And in that sense, it's nice because it's very intimate and you can create a good relationship right there. But the busy time also has its benefits because the guy comes in the evening when you have all your classes rocking, you know, and he walks in, he sees, you know, maybe right now it's not that way with you, maybe right now you have a small school right now, but after this DVD set, baby, we have a full class, all right? So like right now, for example, my gym, at a given moment, there's sometimes between 60 to 100 people in the building, literally. So a guy walks in and he sees, you know, one training room full of people, another training room, the cage with 20, 30 people, you know, and he'll look and go, whoa, man, this thing's happening, you know? So I know your initial impression might be, oh, but aren't they worried about overcrowding or whatever? Take it from me. People complain about things being too crowded, but they can't get enough of it, okay? There's a famous bird trap, and the bird trap has a little door, and if you don't, you can put food in it and stuff, birds won't go in. The birds start to go in when you have a separate compartment inside the trap, and you put a bird inside there. And when the bird sees another bird inside, oh, it's cool to come in. He walks right in and gets into the trap. It's the same way with the gym. People don't want to be part of a ghost town looking gym. When they walk in and they see 20, 30 people in the place all having a good workout, you show them a price and it says you know, $195 a month on it. They go, well, I guess it must be good. All these other people are paying it. See, and that's the impression it gives. So, only thing is, in the evenings, sometimes people had a long day at work and they're a little beat up with the day, and you know, so and sometimes they come in a little rush to get home and see the wife and kids and stuff. So there's pros and cons, but there's definitely no wrong answer. You can have people come in during non-busy times, and you can have people come in during busy times. Just keep in mind to focus on the particular strength of what's going on. In other words, if you have a guy coming in the morning, there's no one there, take your time and slow down that pace. You know, and if you have a guy coming in, it's full of people in the room, mention it. You know, go, hey. You know, the reason why, you know, when they come in and they say, and they see us, they'll go, yeah, you know, the reason why we have so many students here is because our program gets such great results. You know, people can't get enough of this place. You know, and make a point to mention it, for sure. You know, I always mention to people that the reason why we were 1,000 students is because what we're doing here is so great. If we were doing a terrible service, we wouldn't have 1,000 people. People would just quit. You know, so take that into account when you're scheduling your tours and appointments. Okay, also make sure that along with showing off all this stuff and having the ownership closes and everything, like leaning back on the cage and stuff, that your staff knows all the details about all these things. For example, when they say the cage, they'll just go, oh, and here's the cage. Go, oh, and here we have our vinyl coated UFC style regulation cage here. You know, that it's just like this, it's very similar to what you see in the fights on TV, you know. Only throw that fights thing if they were looking for competition, you know. If they were looking for self-defense, I would just say it's a vinyl-coated cage. And here's our official regulation boxing ring from Ringside. It's a very nice ring here, elevated ring. And here are our punching bags. If you notice, these tall bags, these are our Muay Thai bags. The reason why they're so tall is versus a regular boxing bag, because in Thailand, with Muay Thai kickboxing, we do low kicks. So that's why the bag goes all the way down. And here you have your double M bag. This bag, what it's for is when you hit it, it moves around, it works your hand-eye coordination, it works your head movement. And here you have your uppercut bag. It's just for uppercuts, you know. And make sure that with every piece of equipment you show, you explain its significance and where it's from if you know all this knowledge. Same thing with the plaques. You'd be surprised. I have some plaques from like different victories I've had in different grappling tournaments. And I've had some consultants not know what's on the plaques, you know what I mean? So make sure that your guys know all the details of all the things in the tour. And quiz them on it. That's how I do it. I have a little random quiz. I say, what's this plaque about? And what's this piece of equipment for? You know? And make sure that as they go to the tour, they break down every piece of equipment, every feature of the gym. One last thing I want to mention with the initial presentation, okay? The whole thing starts from before they come inside your facility. Okay, one thing that we did in our gym is in the front door, it says, please come in. Our staff wants to help answer your questions. Okay, like right off the bat, right in the front, you know. So, because what happens is you'll get a lot of people come up to the door and think about coming in or not. If you walk at the front counter, you see what I'm talking about. People either walk by and look and think about it and walk away, or they'll grab the door and let go and walk away. Okay, And that little phrase might be the deal breaker. Okay. Also, right next to the door, on the window, we have a double door, so one door is with this thing and the other door is the one they walk into. But either way, just right next to the door, we have a giant sales letter, like on the glass. And basically it talks about how, this is for people of all ages, any body type, it's for self-defense, competition, whatever. So you'll see a lot of people stand in front of the door and read this letter and then walk in. Okay? So make sure that you go ahead and add that. It's very cheap. Just get some vinyl stickers there. Put please come in. Our staff wants to help you. And then right next to it, put your sales letter. So now we've finished up with the initial presentation and tour. Okay. At this point, when you finish the entire tour, you would take the person to the office to go over the consultation. Okay. And we'll go into all the details of the consultation from there. After the consultation, we would go into the free private lesson. Okay. So every school is different. Okay. Every school's got different setups, different things you're teaching, different benefits you're appealing to. And when I talk in these DVDs, I assume that you're trying to that you appeal to people that are trying to lose weight, self-defense, and competition. But maybe you only are a self-defense school, or you're only a competition school, or you're only a fitness facility. Okay, so you can just modify from what I'm saying. Maybe you have a boxing ring, maybe you have a cage, maybe you have neither. Maybe you have certain equipment, maybe you don't. Maybe you have bags, maybe you don't. Because of that, there's no one-size-fits-all tour, but I hope that now, after listening to this DVD, you definitely have a different perspective and a way of improving on your current tour and initial presentation. So let's go ahead, guys, sharpen up that waiting room, attack those 5 senses like I was talking about, have a nice, lively tour, engaging, 2 ears, 1 mouth kind of tour, okay? Thank you, guys, and let's go ahead and get to the next DVD, which is the consultation. Alright, everybody, great job watching the DVD. Now the key thing to getting this stuff done is to implement it, okay? Act on the principles you just learned and the ideas you just learned within 24 hours. If you don't act on this stuff within 24 hours, odds are you won't use any of it. So act on it right now. Make some calls, get things rolling, make some procedures, get your staff together and do this. Now, also, if you would like to come to Miami and learn at the live event that we do every so often, okay, get in touch with Miss Bonita. Her email is bonita@lloydirvinlive.com. The price of the live training is $9,997, and this is the same training that the Mastermind Platinum members do and that the Titanium members do. It's high quality stuff. It's a week and it's very intensive. The guys do 10, 12-hour days training, and when your salespeople leave here, they're gonna be monsters. You're allowed to come yourself and with 2 staff members. The next thing we can do also, I can come to your gym, and I'll come to your gym, do the same exact intense training, and I will train as many staff as you want. I'll train your entire staff, and it's $19,997 for me to come out to your gym. For more information about either of those options, get in touch with Miss Bonita. Her email is bonita@lloydirvinlive.com. Now go ahead and pop in the next DVD, and make sure you get through all the DVDs. Don't skip any. Go through all the DVDs and implement within 24 hours. Good job.